So the first match, women's singles, Yihan, the #1 seed, up against WS-Finals-Xuerui. Let's go courtside with Howard Bentham.
Now please give a very warm welcome to the athletes for our first match of the day, the women's singles final. Please welcome the #1 seed from China, Yihan.
Champion, the former champion here, won the title in 2009 when she was unseeded. Missed last year's championship because of a knee injury. But she's back, and her form this week indicates she's back to her very best.
And please welcome her opponent, also from China, the #7 seed, Xuerui.
Xuerui, the 21-year-old appearing in her first All-England final, in fact her first ever Premier Super Series event final. What an occasion for the youngster. Formalities.
And it is.
Toss of the point. Let's decide whether to serve and receive, or choose which end of the court they start. Expected WS-Xuerui to be here. She's the #7 seed, but I have to say the world ranking up 1 place since last week, up to #5, and that's the highest she's ever been in world rankings. From Chongqing in Sichuan province, and her win-loss record is pretty impressive. Of course, she won last week in Germany, the German Grand Prix, so she was obviously in good form. We knew that. But her results so far in this year's tournament, well, got pushed the full distance in the first round against the left-handed Bulgarian Linda Zechuri, and again yesterday against the 17-year-old Tai Si-Ying from Taipei. Dropped the opening game, as you see, 19-21, 52 minutes. That encounter yesterday really was a very tough battle indeed. So to the former champion, the #1 seed, Wang Yihan, 24 years of age from Shanghai, tall athlete, 178, that's 5'10", 8-1. My goodness, well that translates into winning the Malaysian Super Series. She actually lost in the semi-final of the Korean Super Series, but she's looked very impressive this week. But my goodness, if you thought that her opponent had to battle hard to get through to the final, just look at that. Quarter-final against the #5 seed, Tina Bown. Of course, Tina Bown has won the All-England in 2008 and 2010. She had to save 3 match points in that second game. She was 18-20 down and 20-21 down before she eventually won it 25-23 and won the third game very convincingly indeed. Well, her semi-final yesterday against the defending champion, last year's champion, again a very tough match. In fact, she was 8-13 down in that deciding game before winning through in 1 hour and 26 minutes. So, Wang Yihan, well, very, very tough battles. So, the 5th meeting between the two players, the previous 4 occasions, all won by current world champion Wang Yihan. The last occasion was the quarterfinal of the Malaysian Super Series event. And as you can see, 2 straight games. So Yihan, winner of 3 Premier events last year. Now, there is some technical problems with the umpire's scoring system there, the computerized scoring system, and therefore Jane Hancock has called the tournament referee, John Ackerman. And I think there'll be a slight delay before this final actually gets underway, and that obviously gives me, Jim Clark, and Anthony Clark sitting alongside me, a little bit of an opportunity to talk about this final. Obviously, Anthony, with Wang Yihan being a former champion, she's got the experience, she's world champion. This is a huge occasion for her younger opponent. Will nerves play a part?
I think nerves always play a part when you're in your first ever final in the All England Championships. She's also lost to her opponent 4 times. Quite often when you make it through to a final event, the emotional roller coaster that you've gone through in the tournament can be a little bit too overwhelming at times, and she's certainly going to be up against it.
So, computer's now working, and Jane Hancock, our umpire, will call for the start of the match. And Mark Allen is a service judge. Plenty of Chinese fans in here, and I can assure you that the Malaysian fans will really be in fine voice later on. When we left the arena after all of the semi-finals yesterday evening, the Malaysian fans were all outside. I initially thought it might be a football crowd that was in the centre of Birmingham. It certainly wasn't. It was the Malaysian badminton fans. It was a wonderful atmosphere, and obviously the Malaysian fans were in a very happy mood knowing that their man was through to his 4th consecutive final. Of course, Lee Chong-wei will be the last match on finals day against the Olympic champion Lin Dan. So these 2 Chinese women's singles players, Wang Yihan, 2 hours 31 minutes for her last 2 matches, now 26 minutes for her semi-final. Can't help but wonder whether that might take its toll. Having said that, as you can see, she's a fine athlete.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Yonex All England Open Badminton Championships Women's Singles Final. Between, on my right, Xuerui, China.
President of Yonex Company, eagerly anticipating this
On
women's
my
singles
left,
final.
Wang Yihan, China. Xuerui to serve, love all, play.
So the 21-year-old from Chongqing in Sichuan province, Xuerui, her first ever Premier Super Series event final. For Wang Yihan, her 3rd All England final in 4 years, and when you consider that she didn't contest last year's All England, that's a pretty good record. Of course, she missed the All England last year because of that knee injury. Injured herself in the China League.
Service over, 1-all.
cross court for the winner.
Looks so far that Wang Yihan is looking to make her opponent move all over the dimensions of the court, really making a twist and turn, really making her worry about those nerves early on.
Goodness. That's a good run. Caught in two minds in the end.
Brilliant movement around the court from both players. Wang Yihan, great retrieving a few times to the forehand side and then got caught out, like you say, Jill.
Missed it. About the dominance of China in women's disciplines, both women's singles and women's doubles, but it's quite a surprise to me that this is the first all-Chinese women's singles final since 2006. That said, of course, China now guaranteed of winning this year's women's singles, and that will be the 13th women's singles title they've won in 16 years.
It just shows the dominance of ladies singles in China. You know, they really have stepped up to the plate and shown the rest of the world how this game is really played. Definitely struggling at the moment, actually, Wang Yihan. It doesn't seem to be the same kind of drift in the arena that there was for the last few days, certainly for the side.
And I'm just wondering, Anthony, whether that's an hour and 26 minutes semi-final when she was 8-13 down in the final game against last year's champion Wang Sheshan, whether Wang Yihan is actually just not quite warmed up yet, not quite flowing, perhaps feeling the after effects of such a grueling match.
Definitely signs of it so far. A few sloppy mistakes from her point of view so far. She's missed 4 or 5 on the trot now, and opponent looking to grow with confidence.
I've seen the pressure on Wang Yihan because she's the world #1, she's the current world champion.
I'd say if anybody out of the 2 players so far is looking a little bit tense, it's Wang Yihan.
Points comes to an end. 5 straight points for Xuerui. There's better movement. Yeah, she's happy with that.
Great smash down the line. However, Xuerui didn't get a good length. You know, the key to ladies singles is being able to move your opponent from all 4 corners, and the length is crucial.
Terrific. Good aggressive play from Xuerui.
Service over. 8-4.
that we were making landscape about good clears, singles, all about trying to outmaneuver your opponent, exploring every inch of the court. And Xuerui doing that just brilliantly in that rally.
Xuerui definitely looking the quicker of the two players at the moment. Settled into this game very, very nicely, putting a lot of pressure on her opponent all over the court.
Hasn't settled on Yihan.
Mistake there from Xuerui, just didn't move her feet forward to the shuttle. You know, something you're always taught, make sure you step in all the time. No, the back foot's not moving at all.
That's a long way long of that back line. Goodness me. And of course, because we have two Chinese players playing against each other in the final, Chinese coaching staff just leaving the players to their own devices. Quite certain Zhang Ding is somewhere in the crowd, happily watching this. Yihan from Shanghai.
One, 20 seconds. One, 20 seconds.
Repairs the racket? Yeah, just I think. Oh no, repairs the finger.
11-5. Play.
Always wears a back support. You can see her just adjusting that before getting ready to play. Just hasn't got a special awareness at the moment, Yihan.
No, she looks all about sorts at the moment. She played a lovely slice and a great retrieve, but well, it's not even close to going out the court.
It's another long, grueling rally. And I wonder if Xuerui's tactics, knowing that her opponent has had two such long matches in her quarter and semi-final, whether one of her tactics is really to make her work at the back of the court and keep the rallies extended as long as possible.
Have been playing in this arena for 4 or 5 days now, and the drift has actually definitely changed. In the previous days, the drift was definitely going to the left as we're looking at the court. It seems to be going the opposite way.
Xuerui wants the shuttle changed.
I think he can definitely play a bit of a part in the mind of Wang Yihan. She's been struggling to find the length and to find the groove, and yeah, you kind of normally expect that it's always going to be the same in an arena, but the crowd obviously make a difference and perhaps play on her mind a little bit.
Oh, that's clever. the attacking play goes down the sidelines. They're just mixing it up, using the body smash. And I think if the world champion does have any sort of a weakness, and there aren't many, well, she's still not happy. Putting a tape round finger again, I think. The only weakness I think she has is perhaps defensively. I think she gets a little bit committed, especially if you can aim the shuttle towards her left shoulder. She often tries to play round the head, which is an aggressive sort of shot to play, but sometimes I think she tries to overdo that. Overall, the line judge's decision. Well, the crowd agree with the umpire. It was an immediate overall. Oh, that's very good umpiring.
Twist and turn, and then the weak reply again. So can't stress this enough that the length in singles is the most important thing. It's so dangerous when you hit a short length, and Xuerui proving very, very competent on the attack.
The feathers of the shuttle. And there's still a fast racket head movement. The shuttle doesn't travel that quickly.
She definitely keeps playing with her finger though, Wang Yihan. She's struggling. Maybe she has a little cut that's impeding her technique.
She knows about the drift. She's annoyed with herself. Astute. She's trying to do the right thing, and I personally always love to see a young player, even if they make errors, the fact that they're trying to implement the right shots at the right time, I always think is a great sign.
Have to send a message to your opponent that you're willing to try shots. Can't just play a basic game. You're playing against the best player in the world. Got to take the game to them.
That's a well-worked rally from Yihan. Pushed her opponent to the back, brought her in, pushed her to the back again. Forced the weak reply, forced the backhand.
Tactics with the mid-court drives. Maybe she feels that opponent isn't as strong as her in that area.
space, but making the error. Didn't seem to follow through with the shot.
Still seems very tentative when she's striking the shuttle today. Now, I've never seen her play so many mistakes in one set of badminton.
Even the young fans loving that. She looks a lot smoother around the court now, and therefore I think her opponent is trying to play the perfect shot, and that's why she's starting to make one or two errors, because she knows that if Wang Yihan is moving well, she's one of the best movers on court and will get so much back.
It's very difficult for both of these players. They probably play against each other every day in training, and I think Xuerui probably knows that Wang Yihan's probably slightly stronger and a better mover, and just feels she has to play the better shots.
So it's over 19-13.
Oh, great judgment. Well, there is head coach Zhang Ning, in charge of the women's singles. Yeah, watching very intently. 3 times All England finalist, but never won this title. Well, it's interesting because I'm sure Xuerui trying to exploit that shot towards Wang Yihan's left shoulder. That she knows that sometimes she can make errors with that. So 7 game points. Holding it with the ring. And the number 7 seed has taken the open game against the world champion.
First game won by Li Xuerui, 21-13.
21-13 confirms the umpire. And 20 minutes for that open game, and I have to say, Li Xuerui looking very impressive indeed. And of course, China, as we were saying earlier, very dominant in women's singles. 3 of the 4 semi-finalists from China. Non-Chinese player Tang Xiying. Well, China's dominance in the women's singles in world badminton in general cannot be questioned. 5 of the top 6 players in the world ranking, all Chinese. The only interruption to that is, of course, Saina Nehwal from India at number 4. Look at the semi-finals here. 3 of the 4 semi-finals Chinese.
Love all, play.
I guess this is where we really need to see the champion spirit from this woman, Wang Yihan. It's a very good reason why she is world champion and world number 1. Last year reached 9 finals in world badminton, winning 7 of them. Performance in game number 1.
She's definitely be the second-rate player in this match so far. You know, this is a test of a champion. How well can they come out from losing the first game?
Fatigue and stiffness when you can't lunge forward and get down into that deep lunge. I just felt Wang Yihan was slightly slow there.
Definitely looks like a weakness. That was a very sort of weak lunge. It tends to be the weakness that I've seen so far with the lunges when she's going to a forehand side. Doesn't seem to be struggling down the backhand, because obviously she can use her other leg to her advantage, but when she's been taking the other side, really not getting there well.
That's gone wide. Part of that, of course, may be the fact that she injured her right knee in the China League last year, and she's got that strapped again today. She does all the time as a precaution rather than anything else. Lucky net courts in this second game so far.
What we know she's capable of. I think she is probably the most devastating player on the world scene in ladies singles when overhead and when getting her feet in the right position. That was the big difference there. I think this was a sign of that weakness again. I mean, she just literally lent at that one, took it nicely off the frame.
Yeah, you can actually see that the top of that right leg is also strapped. It's not just the knee.
Out. 7-2.
Yeah.
Definitely seems to be the case that the far end of the court, as we're looking at it now, is the better end today. It's been the opposite way round for the entire tournament, and I think both players are a bit of taken aback by that.
Overdone it.
9-2.
That looked more like a desperation shot to me.
Just shows again the importance of a good length. Getting her opponent really stretching back for the shuttle. Again, feet not in the right place. And you've always got to try and come forwards as you're striking the shuttle, and that was a great example of it.
If your opponent reaches it, then you've got the full diagonal of the court to scamper. Oh, this is a great run by Yihan. 6 straight points. Often the Chinese players wear those back supports. In control on a run of 7 straight points, goes to the mid-game interval. And a 9-point advantage. Yeah, still not happy with a cut or blister or something wrong with that finger there. Really is difficult for me to understand and realise what actually happened a year ago when Wang Yihan, of course, was world #1 at the time, and she had a couple of bad results. And head coach Li Yongbo said, I don't mind that you're world #1, you're not selected for China anymore, not selected for the Asian Games. Not one of 4 singles players selected. She's told to go out and prove herself. But what you were saying earlier about, you know, the test of a champion, a true test is how you fight back and how you respond to losing the opening game, and even if you're not playing your best badminton, finding a way to win still. Well, that is a incredible match. I think so far in the second, Yihan has proved why she is champion material.
This is definitely what we expected from the very start of this match. You know, maybe it is a case of a bit stiff, a bit tired from yesterday, just needed to get the legs really going.
Service over, 4-12.
The precision, that's remarkable.
That's brilliant technical ability to be able to play that kind of shot. What's strange for these girls is they play very, very few backhands. You know, we talked a few minutes ago about Wang Yihan having a back support on. You know, the amount of times they go round the head and they're stretching very, very far to make sure they don't play backhands. You can understand why she needs to wear that support.
And yet she had the courage and the racket head control to play another net shot.
Definitely struggling with that lunge though, Jill. You know, she almost went double-footed into that one. Sliced across the net shot. That's great skill. Clearly seeing that her opponent has a bit of a weakness when it's steep down in front of her, looking to exploit that.
Complexion on this second game.
That's where the Chinese ladies are so strong. When they do sense a weakness in somebody's play, okay, we're perhaps thinking a little bit of an injury coming into this game, but no matter what the weakness, they always seem to be able to find it.
Champion will be mightily relieved to stop that little run of points. The drop shot down the forehand side, then the power play, the smash.
Terrible cross-court slip from Yihan. Opponent waiting for that one, almost intercepted it in the middle of the court. It was such a bad height. Great anticipation.
Well, she had an 8-point advantage just a moment ago. Yeah, there's just 2 points in it.
To give Wang Yihan time. That's so strong and so accurate. Smash to the body when you have. A lot of these ladies singles will always practice almost diving to the sides of the court, so they usually have that covered. Very clever tactic to go to the body.
Points. It's going to be just as much about nerves as anything else. It's called goods.
18-15.
Yeah, it was too. Perfect. It was indecision as to whether she should leave it or not. I don't think it was going to go long of the back line, was it? There was certainly hesitation. She's closed the deficit to just one solitary point. Well, they've got that 8-point advantage at 14-6. Yihan, I'm quite certain, will probably be feeling a little bit nervous because it's all level now.
Looked like it hurt her as well, that rally, Jill. She was standing then after the rally, hands on her knees, heavy, heavy breathing.
a tight spinning net shot.
First of all, the punch clear to the forehand side. God, his opponent totally out of position. And again to the body.
Oh, that was going wide. My goodness me. This one, Yihan looks back towards the line after she's made the error, questioning in her own mind. Oh, that was going a long way out. But that error means that the number 7 seed Lee Xuerui on the verge of victory. Match point. Champion. 2 titles now in 2 weeks, having won a week ago in Germany. That's the one that I always think Wang Yihan trying to play round the head should be better to play the backhand, and Lee Xuerui knew the weakness there and exploited it quite brilliantly. Well, who would have thought at the beginning of the week? I'm sure a lot of people would have put money on a Chinese champion of the women's singles, but who would have thought it would have been Lee Xuerui? Not many, but there's how she did it. 21-13, 21-19.
This way. Congratulations to Lee Xuerui, the women's singles champion. Have we just watched your greatest career victory?
我们刚刚见证了你在职业生涯中最伟大的胜利了吗？
是的，这是我第一个顶级赛冠军。
Yes, it is my first top champion in the world in the competition.
What is it that's so special about the Yonex All England Open Badminton Championships?
对于全英比赛，对你来讲是跟其他比赛相比有什么特别的地方吗？
因为全英比赛一直公开赛都是最顶级的公开赛吧，然后以前也听就是前辈们说，就是这个比赛比较最重要的一个公开赛，所以说能在这里拿冠军，自己感到很自豪。
And it is one of the most important tournaments in the world. I know my friends and they've been won the championship, and that's very important to me.
Congratulations, Lee Xuerui, women's singles champion.
Well, it's lovely when a youngster like Lee Xuerui acknowledges the prestige and history of the All England Championships. Of course, it is the oldest international championship in the world. This is the 102nd edition of the All England, the 16th year at the National Indoor Arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the presentations for the Yonex All England Open Badminton Championships Women's Singles. To make the presentations, please welcome Francis Liao, Managing Director of OSIM, and Paul Jepson, Managing Director of Yonex UK. This marks the 102nd Championships and the 29th consecutive year of Yonex sponsorship, making it one of the longest partnerships in sporting history. Badminton England would like to extend its sincere thanks and appreciation to Yonex for its continued support. We're also privileged to be part of the OSIM BWF World Super Series as a premier event. To thank our officials, Paul Jepson from Yonex UK will now award commemorative medals to umpire Jane Hancock of England and her service judge, also from England, Mark Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, our runner-up in the women's singles, Wang Yihan from China.
The second time that Wang Yihan has been beaten finalist here at the All England Championships.
Paul Jepson now presents the runners-up medal to Wang Yihan.
In 2010, of course, she was the champion.
Our runner-up for 2012, Wang Yihan from China. Please welcome our winner onto the podium, the 2012 Yonex All England Open Women's Singles Champion, Yihan from China.
Xuerui of China, her first ever Super Series title, and it's the biggest of them all, the All England Premier event.
And OSIM Euphoria, the world's first tween-arm-led massager. Also presenting the winner's medal.
What a way to start your Super Series.
And now the Xuerui from China
The All England.
will take the all-important trophy from Francis Liao. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 Yonex All England Women's Singles Champion from China, Xuerui! Xuerui will now take a lap of honor and take a pause for the fantastic crowd here at the National Indoor Arena. Thank you to our presentation party, Francis Liao, Managing Director of OSIM, and Paul Jepson, Managing Director of Yonex UK. Let's hear it for our champion for 2012, from China, Xuerui, on her lap of honor.
Go, go.